London,
Yeah,
planet Earth.
you already know.
What are we saying?
We're all good, man. What you
Jeez.
saying?
How we feeling, man? I'm good. How you, man, feeling?
I'm lively, man.
Yeah? We
I'm
good?
feeling out of space. I ain't even feeling on Earth right now. I'm feeling good, though.
Jeez, spaceship. Welcome to another session, another episode, another movie.
Another
OTF.
therapy session for real. We're about to
OTF.
talk.
Yeah, now we're back to shoot some stuff still, I'm not gonna lie. The topic for this one's got me excited. So, yeah, welcome to OTF. Myself, Super J in the building. Who else we got?
Myself, Cabinho 006. What's good?
Yeah, you got myself, Max, at Professor Max on Insta. You already know.
Don't know. You can find all of us by our monikers that we use here. So
Yeah, you know.
we're about. I'll tell everyone locked in on the Insta live. Just a little quick
We love you.
brief snippet.
We
Love
love
the
you
support.
for real.
You get me? Yeah. So quick disclaimer. Yeah. If your constitution is weak, if you're not of a if you're not liberal and you take offense to the littlest things, this is probably not going to be the podcast for you.
Definitely.
You might want to go check in on what's on BBC iPlayer.
Teletubbies is still about.
Yep, 100%. Love Island, them kind of things, they might be more down your alley. No, real talk. That might be more you.
Amen.
And yeah, just keep it moving.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? Stop using your earwax as salt and pepper to season your chips.
Wow.
Like, that's what I'd say.
Some people would say it's better than the air that certain demographics use. So, you
Wow.
know, and imagination. You know?
Wow.
You know.
If you aren't seasoning your food in 2018, we have a
Fam.
problem.
Old tight Heinz with that jollof mix.
No,
I
don't
see
ever
that.
hold them
I
tight.
see that.
Heinz,
I see that.
listen.
No, I'm glad. No, you know, I'm kind of glad, you
what?
know.
No, you're not glad.
No, because
Heinz,
you,
if I
fam,
bump
you-
into you, yeah,
No.
we're having problems.
You lot were quiet when they did jerk rice, fam. You lot were silent. No support. So nah, fam, go for them. Go for the brothers, them. 100%.
Listen,
You
Jamie
lot was
Oliver.
quiet.
Jamie Oliver, yeah.
Quiet.
You need to stop with that noise right now, yeah? You hear me?
Oh, so now you're supporting.
No, I was supporting from before
Nah.
because you can't jerk rice. You can't do the jerk rice, bro. That's a liberty. Stop taking the
Fam.
mick out of our culture. Jamie Oliver, I seen you face to face. We ain't had a conversation. I seen you face to face because you happened to pass by one of the places where I work. Yeah? You know you did wrong. That's what I'm going to say. You know you did wrong.
Hang your head in shame.
Exactly. No, for real. Hang your head in shame. Because if I started making some, I don't know, Kentucky fried haggis, I'm sure Scottish people have a problem with that. Yeah?
Mad. Maybe we should do it.
Maybe we should.
do it. still.
Kentucky fried haggis. What are you saying, Mike? What are you saying?
Yo, yeah.
Hey, we were
Hey,
waiting for that, man. Oh,
Exactly.
God, it's
That's
late.
good.
It's late today.
I'm here,
I'm
man.
just fixing my
Yeah.
bird.
I'm here, man.
But yeah, Kentucky fried haggis coming soon, innit?
Don't know, fam.
All right, cool. So what are we
Don't know.
saying for the episode?
So today we are discussing. It's an exciting one. One that I'm looking forward to reasoning on with you guys still. So the film come out, Black Panther, a little while ago. Everyone's seen it. We showed out. We did the thing.
And Mike's didn't like it, but go on.
You know, we showed out. We did the thing. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment and stuff like that. And it was kind of inspirational in a lot of ways. It was quite inspirational. Kind of us seeing ourselves portrayed on the big screen in such a positive light.
Definitely.
As much as there was some negative connotations within there, and there was an undertone of some hurtful stuff, the overall image was a positive one, in my opinion.
100%. I agree.
So, with that in mind, kind of looking at our current social state, where we are, the things we experience on a day-to-day basis, and our environment.
Yeah.
Do you think the whole ideal of Wakanda can be something that we can build and generate and create for ourselves? Not necessarily the whole vibranium thing, like obviously that's a fantasy, but just talking about being independent, stable.
Vibranium might be a Durex to stop having kids outside of a marriage.
Wow. Wow. So that's that. We've been OTF. Thank you for locking in. Like, but yeah, like, do you think it's something? Because if you look at some other communities, some other nationalities and stuff like that, they have a closer ideal to that. Do you know what I mean? They have a closer thing to that. If you look at, for example, the Jewish community, which is a community I have a lot of respect for to a degree, 100%. No problems with
They
them.
keep it local, innit?
But yeah, they've done a lot for themselves. Do you know what I mean? Like, they've done very well in keeping it within themselves. So what do you man think? Like, weigh in. Hit me.
Max, what do you think?
Or do I think Wakanda can be real?
Yeah.
Obviously, no, I wasn't a big fan of the movie.
He hates black people.
Wow. These times I'm the main one that supports black women and people on the whole. But I feel like the majority of black people only supported it because it was a movie backed by Marvel.
Okay.
And I wasn't prepared to, fall for the hype. Marvel knew what they were doing. They knew the type of money they would make from it. And they knew the type of support they would get from it, which is why they did it. These same black people that ran out for Wakanda wasn't doing that for the great debaters. They wasn't doing that.
But it wasn't published the same.
It's different times. But even then, if you brought out the black debaters now, it's not going to have the same effect as it did with Wakanda.
I think
that's only because it's backed by Marvel.
But Marvel's
I
the
don't
biggest.
agree.
The Marvel's the biggest thing in the world.
I don't agree though. Like in terms of what you're saying there, like I think the difference is the Black Panther movie has a massive element of fantasy in it.
Yeah, it's
which
fake. It's not real.
Yeah. But when I say fantasy, like, so with movies like Great Debaters, Remember the Titans, like all those kind of things,
Classics.
like they're amazing films, and they show like overcoming racial bias and all that kind of stuff. But it's kind of showing, it's kind of us reliving heyday, if that makes sense. It's like looking back and saying, okay, yeah, we did that. That's amazing, and use that as an inspiration. Whereas this kind of shows it from a different perspective of like, imagine what could be. Do you know what I mean? Imagine it kind of gives you.
Is this not all set back in the day? No.
What? Wonder.
Like Marvel, is this not comics that are from back in the day?
No, not necessarily.
The comic Black Panther was from back in the day, but the setting is present.
Yeah, but still, it's all fake, isn't it?
So you don't think?
I love the representation side of it. I understand what it represents and the effect that it has had on the younger generation. But again, I just feel
so. What is black excellence to you?
What you think is solely Wakanda?
No, but that's a representation of black excellence.
Yeah, and
so what is black excellence to you? Because I'm pretty sure that if something has black, I'm pretty sure that if something has black representation and black excellence, that's something to aspire to, right? And the movie has given people something to aspire to, or a hope of something to aspire to. It's possible that in the right demographic and with the right people, this is something attainable. Obviously not with vibranium.
Hope is powerful,
But the thing is, like I said, the representation side of it is great. But I would love to see how black people respond to a true story film that comes out.
But the problem with a true
they
story
did that with
film,
they did that with Hidden Figures.
No, but the problem with
It got love, but it wasn't the same type of love.
Because it's not Marvel.
But no,
that's what I'm saying.
But it's not even just that. The problem with
Like nobody was
films,
buying out cinemas for school kids and whatnot.
No, but the problem with one of the problems with true story films is it's something that's already happened. It's something that's already been achieved and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, but then if I know it's real, that's something that I can achieve. That's something that I can go and reach. That's something I can get to.
Yeah.
Where Wakanda is technically fake.
So
I'm going to believe. So I'm supposed to. So as a child, I'm going to believe, because this is what it is, isn't it? They're going to believe in something that's fake. That I can make this happen, but really you can't because it's fake.
No, but that's the thing. As an actual place, it's fake, 100%. But as an ideal, is it fake?
No.
Like I don't see it as something that can't happen. For
Okay,
us
so
to be,
do you think we can make Wakanda a real thing?
Yeah.
I do. I don't think I certainly don't think we'll make it really.
Wakanda is within us.
I certainly don't think we'll make it really.
Wakanda is within us.
But I think it's possible.
It's within us. You know why it's within us? Because it takes a small community. It could be us 3 or 5 of us building something for ourselves and then expanding when we have the means to. And that could be just solely represented on our excellence. And so Wakanda, before it becomes a citywide thing, it can be a local thing. And it probably is happening in local areas. It's just it's not expanded. But yeah, Wakanda can happen.
I'm not taking anything away from black excellence. Let's just put this out there.
Yes, he is.
No, I'm not.
No, go on.
No, I'm not. I'm just speaking on that. My whole thing is that they have plans for other movies to come out in the future.
Like what?
They've got the film on, what's his name? King, is it Musa?
Mansa Musa,
Mansa
the richest
Musa.
man ever.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I want to see if that's going to get the same type of love.
If it's Marvel sponsored, it will.
I think
Marvel's the biggest stamp in the movie world. It's the
Don't
biggest
get
stamp.
twisted.
Who do you think Marvel did this for? Black
Themselves
people
and
or
us.
themselves?
Themselves and us.
No, themselves. Don't get twisted. I'm not saying it wasn't self-serving.
Okay.
It was
At
themselves
all.
and us. I think it was both.
100%.
I don't think they thought about.
I think they did.
Black people.
Because otherwise they wouldn't have done one for black people if they didn't think about us.
They thought about black people's money.
They will do a lot of things if it's going to fill their pockets.
They thought about black people's money, 100%. But then the effect it's had, like it's given black people a point of reference for our buying power, for example. Like that film done records, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that
course.
film done amazing numbers.
Okay, yeah, it did amazing numbers because of who?
Because of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are we going to keep that same energy for when it's another movie
It's
that
a-
comes out that's written and produced and directed by a black
depends-
person?
It's
It
a
depends.
proof of concept.
No,
It's a
but
proof of concept that we
not
have.
only
that we
that-
have the power, though.
Not only that, it depends on its advertisement. Like that was heavily advertised.
It would be.
And so
look at,
obviously, so if something's heavily advertised, like Great Debaters, do I think it will do the same numbers if it was to come out now? No.
No, of course
The reason why is because it doesn't have the superhero context of it. You have to admire the fact that Great Debaters is probably targeted towards a 15 and up age group. Black Panther
I'd probably
is
say a
from
bit older.
anywhere. Yeah, older. That's what I'm saying. So it
Yeah.
limits it. Black Panther's from anywhere like 12 upwards. So of course, and kids are interested in
But-
superheroes.
and
So
that's
you're
my
going to
thing,
go
but
and
what
watch
I'm
it.
okay, would you allow your child to watch Great Debaters?
I would, but I'm different.
But that's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
but we're
like,
not.
if
We're,
you-
but
I know, but I'm
but it's
saying
an
if
easy
you-
choice. If you say
I'm
to
saying
them,
in order to get to Wakanda, you need a group of people. At the end of the day, we're not superheroes, innit? Yeah. So we
I'm a
need-
black man in this society. I've survived. I'm a superhero.
give him a sound effect. But what I'm saying is that we're not superheroes. Do you know what I mean? So if I'm going to teach my son or daughter to be like somebody and say, look, this is what you have to do to get here, I'm going to show them Great Debaters. Like learn how
You'd
to.
rather it be a real character than
No, but it's just that look, you need to study like this, learn how to articulate yourself a certain way. So when you get into these places, you know how to mingle with these people. Wakanda, that do you get what I'm saying?
Why can't you say
I
it?
get-
Why can't they be in tandem? Why
I was-
can't
I
you
was-
be like?
Bruv, I was
Yeah, go on, Jay.
literally
Go on,
about
Jay.
to say that. I was literally about to say that. Like, why do they have to be exclusive
Separate,
of one
yeah.
another? They work synonymously. They're different parts on the same journey. So yeah, you need to have the.
So you need to have this, but you also need to have vibranium and superpowers.
No,
Obviously
no,
not
you need to have this to
I'm-
facilitate the ideal. Do you understand? So you need to have this side to facilitate that.
Yeah,
Do you understand? Like,
I agree.
so yeah, you need to study and be able to do these things and all that kind of stuff and get your knowledge up and defend yourselves and all that kind of stuff and stick together, circulate our money within our community, etc., etc., etc.,
Yeah.
to get to this ideal where we're in a position of we're not relying on other people. We're not relying on.
We're
the
heavily
government
reliant right now.
support because
So we're saying that Wakanda is the only thing out there that is showing us that this is what we could have.
No, there are other
No,
things, but
there's
Wakanda
examples. I
is
know, but
Wakanda
there's
is of the
people that
highest level because of the mass and the audience in which it reached.
like, don't get twisted. It's been done. Like, there's people that I've met. There was an Israelite community I've done some sound engineering for when they done one of their events, and they were talking about basically they left where they were and stuff and kind of started a small community. When they first started, they had no money. They were really struggling. They were performing and like being entertainers and stuff like
I
that.
bet they're
to kind of
thriving
build
now.
their community up. Yeah, and they've built that up and it's all independent. There's no
Dope.
money coming in
Dope.
and support from other people and all that kind of stuff. They've literally found one. I can't remember where it was. I can't remember what country it was.
The problem is, Jay, something that you said before, and I 100% agree. Sometimes as black people, we're too showy.
Yeah.
Like, we are all...
Yeah.
I need to just show everyone what we've done so far.
Yeah.
No, you build in quiet. And once you've built in quiet to a point where it's so strong that even when other people interfere, they can't knock it down, that's when
Yeah.
you go public with it.
100%.
But you never go public on the first step. Because
Move in
what
silence, fam.
Yeah,
Move in
you
silence.
move in silence, man. Wu-Tang said it. Everyone says it.
I was even watching Paid in Full the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out
And
Paid in Full.
That's a big film. And what's his name? Ace.
Ace.
Yeah, Ace Boogie.
Yeah, Ace Boogie. Like when he meets my man, is it Lulu?
Lulu,
yeah. And he's like, why do I need a car? Why do I need to be flashing? All that kind of stuff. Like these things don't define me. I still make money. I don't need it. And it's like he took that on board, and as soon as he made money, he forgot about it and started doing these things anyway. Yeah, you can tuck in your chain, but what? Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? You're still doing the same thing. Yeah, your attitude might not be as showy, but you're still bound by the same.
Even the
chains as your
materials
brothers.
and stuff. And some people's argument in the materials is because they've never had it, they want to, experience those nice leathers and stuff. And I understand it, but there's millionaires out here who wear Primark.
Fam, once you get to a certain stage, Bill Gates said it. He was like, yeah, there's something to be said about having a couple million, 100%. But once you get past a certain point, it's just the same burger. Like, it's just the same thing. Like, once you get to a certain stage, it don't change.
That is that rich white talk.
Literally,
Jeez.
fam. But if you think about it, fam, like, say for example,
The same burger.
yeah. Say
Yo.
for example, like, I'm
I
seeing
like
gold,
that. I like that.
I'm seeing like gold-plated donuts. I watched the thing the other day, and they literally had a gold leaf donut, fam. Why?
Can it get you high?
It don't make no sense. Doesn't make no sense.
Unless it's a hallucinogen, then there's no point in a gold-plated donut.
It makes no sense, fam. I've stayed in hotels that were less than £100 a night, and I've stayed in hotels that were £300 a night.
Yeah.
Honestly, the difference isn't 10, 30 times the diff. It's not in proportion to the cost difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nah. Yeah, it's mad.
My thing is, with the whole Wakanda ideal, I think it's good to give children an opportunity to dream, and I know you agree with that.
Yeah.
I think you were just in opposition to the fact that it's not real, like it's fictional. But I like the whole idea of, for centuries, there's been white representation on the main stage for superheroes. So it's almost made you have to conform as to being, oh, I like him. Like, I want to be Captain America when I grow up. But there's never been a visual representation of that. So now that you have Black Panther and you have Suri and you have all of these people, it's finally a representation of, yeah, I'm fine as a black person because I can still be a hero.
I love how it challenged the ideals of beauty as well.
Amen.
Like
Amen.
I loved how all the main
Amen.
characters, in regards to the women, the main characters in it were all of the darkest complexions.
Yeah. Like I said, the representation was great.
I loved that.
Shout out
loved
Suri,
that,
man.
fam.
I love
Yeah.
you, man. Shout out Suri.
100%. Like I thought that was
She
beautiful.
came from thingy, from what's the thing on Top Boy? She
Yeah.
was in Top Boy.
Yeah, I remember.
Mad salutes. to
London
her,
girl,
bro.
innit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But no,
man.
definitely. I think Wakanda's possible. I do. I think it's mad, but we're probably sowing the seeds in this generation, and it might take a few for them to get it. But I feel like that movie is a stepping stone on the way there.
The thing is, I have to hope, innit? I really want better things for our community and our people.
Do you think we can have an Edgeware Road?
But hold on, wait, before we get onto that, yeah.
Mm.
So if Black Panther didn't come out, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and you have children, what would be your go-to movie for them to watch?
Meteor, man. I'm joking. I'm playing. My go-to movie for them to watch.
Yeah, in terms of black excellence and black power.
Excellence.
Hidden Figures.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen it yet.
What?
I haven't.
Yeah,
I
I haven't
as
seen
well.
it.
Oh, you lot
No,
are flopping,
no,
man.
not even on the thing of.
Flopping,
I've
bro.
had a couple of opportunities to watch it, but
I just haven't had the time.
I want to watch it by myself and really take it in.
Flopping, bro.
No, I will. I know. But like, there's been times I've been able to watch it, but I've been with other people. I know they would have gone to talk through the film and stuff. I just want to take it in one-on-one.
Yeah.
Do you know
Alright,
what I mean?
flops. Alright, cool.
So, alright, flops.
Slip gang, but yeah.
Oh my lord. Yeah, what film? That's a really good question,
What
Okay,
would you
and
show?
I say
You would
that.
see Great Debaters, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't show them the original Black Panther, depending on their age. I think that's a bit too much for them at a young
You wouldn't
age.
show them Roots then, would you?
No, not at a young age. I watched that at a young age, and I think that was the worst thing.
I'm done with slavery movies,
No,
Yeah,
I don't
same.
watch slavery
I'm
movies.
done
I haven't
with them.
even seen the last 2 or 3 that came out. Like, what's
Yeah.
the 12 Years a
Yeah,
Slave and
I haven't
Django?
seen
I
it
haven't
either.
watched none
I've
of
seen
them.
12 Years a Slave.
I've seen Django. That was the last
haven't-
kind of one I watched.
I don't have time for them.
Theme.
So,
I'm done
but I
with those
say that
movies.
to say this year, so that it's basically we struggle to find a movie that will show our children.
Yeah.
Do you think the parents coming through now, when they have children, they will show them Black Panther, the Marvel movie?
I don't know, because we're in a time space where everything's microwaved, and what I mean by that is everything's like what happened recently. I don't think they're gonna go back.
So 10 years from now, do you reckon it will still have the same effect?
No,
I disagree in that. I think I certainly would.
yeah,
Like,
but
I paid, and I've never done this, by the way. I paid to watch Black Panther in the cinema. I think it was 3 or 4 times. Literally, I watched it once with the fam. I watched it again. Me and the missus, we went and watched it.
Yeah.
And then I was out with my niece and nephew, and they said that they hadn't seen it. And I was like, no, that can't work.
So, okay, so black excellence and all that aside, do you actually think it's a good Marvel movie?
Yeah, 100%.
would it be in your top 3 Marvels? Do you follow Marvel like that though?
Not like that, but from what I've watched,
So if you don't follow it like
I
that,
don't
I
think it'd be my
can't.
top 3.
If you don't follow
But
Marvel,
I've seen more than 5
I can't.
Marvel movies. That's enough.
No, but if you don't follow it like that, I can't take your
So
opinion
you've
on board
watched them
still.
all from the. Have you watched them in the correct set and correct
Yes,
order?
Yes.
Tell me what the correct order is.
So
What? No, we're not gonna
phase-
do that on air.
Of course we can.
I can tell you, phase 1, you've got Incredible Hulk with the Edward Norton one. You've got Iron Man, which was the actual start of phase 1.
Yeah,
There was a
How many
reference
phases
point.
are there?
the 4 phases.
3 are out. We've just
We're going on to the 4th one.
yeah, we're going into
Because that
phase
features
4.
Black Widow,
Phase
which is
4
coming out next
phase
year.
4 is
Okay.
when they come up with the
And
next Avengers
you put,
movie.
based on the quality of the movie, you put Black Panther where?
It's top 5 for me.
It's definitely
I
in
said top
5.
3 though.
Top 3 is hard. I think
Because Winter Soldier is hard. Winter Soldier is hard.
I wouldn't put Winter Soldier in the top 3 though.
What?
Nah.
Nah.
No, I wouldn't put Winter
Nah.
Soldier in the top 3.
Nah,
It's
nah.
good, but I wouldn't put it in the
Nah.
top 3.
Okay.
Civil War was better than Winter Soldier. Civil War was better than Winter
Civil
Soldier.
War.
Yeah, Civil
No
War.
way.
If you're talking Captain America film, Civil
No
War was better.
way.
Civil War was better, fam.
No way.
What do you mean?
It's
there was-
preference, it's
there was
personal
so
opinion,
much more
so-
depth to,
Nah.
to the story.
Nah.
That's fine. I just wanted to see that. But yeah,
That's
anyway, we
fine.
can continue.
Yeah.
What about the Avengers movie, the recent one?
What, Infinity War?
Yeah,
I don't want
that's
to talk.
definitely top 3.
Yeah,
definitely
but I want
top
to. I don't want
three.
to talk about it though. It hurt my soul. It upset me.
Why? Because Thanos.
Don't spoil it for people listening because
They have seen it by now. If you haven't, too bad.
No, but
Pusha T is Pusha Thanos, by the way. By Drake. He snapped his fingers.
That's sick. That's sick. Yeah, no, I hate people that do spoilers. Though I'm not gonna lie. I saw someone put one up the other day. I was vexed.
Someone did it for me in Power. I was upset still.
They
Fam,
say it's a
are
big
you
rich
lot are up to date in
town.
Power, innit?
Yeah, someone spelled.
You're up to date in Power.
I just come from the poorest
Someone spoiled
parts.
it, and someone spoiled the last 2 episodes for me. I was upset.
What,
So you
with
see
James
the-
St. Patrick? What happened?
So
Yeah.
you see the last thing that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
the gunshot. Yeah.
So someone posted up, I'm so happy that I've caught up with Power and screenshotted that
Yeah.
on Insta.
Yeah.
Listen,
I was
what you have to
screwing.
learn,
I've seen
'cause this
it
is
and I was
about-
screwing.
this is what you have to learn. Because
Nah.
my baby did this too. This is what you have to learn. When you don't want to know something like that, you avoid all social media.
Yeah.
Before I caught up with Power, because I was behind a bit, I avoided all social media.
Yeah.
You know what happened? I got a phone call. Someone's ruined Power for me. I was like, don't tell me. This was my wife. This is my beautiful lady. She's like, someone's ruined Power for me. I was like, okay, as long as you don't tell me. I said, why were you on Insta? She's like, I was on a completely unrelated post. But I said, but you know what? There's so many trolls out there in the world that they're just looking to spoil people's happiness. And although you would they'll ever never know that you've seen it, they know they've ruined someone's day.
Bro, I was on my, WhatsApp stories. I was
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
And because obviously
Nah,
it goes from
boy.
one to the next one straight, I was on it watching something. I didn't clock what it was. Then I saw what happened.
Yeah.
I was pissed. I said to my cousin, "Why would you put it up?" Well, someone ruined it for me, so I'm ruining it for
That's
everybody
what I'm
else.
saying.
Pagans.
Avoid all social media.
That's why we can't have ownership.
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie, that's the point.
You don't think we can have ownership?
Not in our life. Not in our lifetime.
What about Rockefeller before other people got involved? Jay-Z and Dame.
Look what happened.
I think we can have degrees of ownership.
Jay-Z and
but
Dame.
it has to
Look
start
what
in our
happened.
generation. It has to start in our generation.
How does it
Because-
start with us? Does
because
it start with the elders?
It starts piece by piece.
It doesn't have to start from the elders because it might not be something that they understand or they know. So
How did they
somebody
build?
else has
How
to
did they
start.
build the pyramids from? It's one piece at a time, you know.
Yeah.
Start with one little rock.
I think
stone
aliens
and-
did that, but go on.
Huh?
Aliens, man.
Oh my lord. Anyway, what I'm saying is, every journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. We have to take responsibility for something and do
What
it.
if you're on a moped?
Like, we've been off the fence. We've been off the fence.
Sorry, I'm just here to ask questions. I'm here to ask
Here
questions.
to raise my blood pressure.
Would you show your kids American History X?
At what age?
15.
15.
Have you seen American History? Because you don't watch
Nah.
films.
No,
thing
I
is,
haven't watched it
that's the
from start
Curb.
to finish.
The
Yeah,
problem-
I
the
know
problem-
that piece.
The problem is that the effect that
Curb had.
no, that movie and slavery movies had on me at a young age, I think I'd rather wait until my child is at least 17, 18.
Question.
Like if they came to me and said, "Oh, like, I watched this when I was at a friend's house," then there's not much I can do in it.
Question. Would you let your kid play Grand Theft Auto? 15 again.
See, do you know why it's a hard thing?
Why?
Because I was playing it at a young age. Like I was going and buying music, or I'd get a cousin to buy music for me that had explicit content on there, or and parental
Cassidy,
advice.
I know.
You know what I mean? But I would still listen to it. It didn't make
think-
me go and do anything.
I think
Would
it
I
depends.
go and buy my child Grand Theft Auto? No, I wouldn't.
I think it depends on my child's constitution. Like you'd kind of be able to tell if your child is like a sponge that's going to react to everything and go out and do stuff, or whether they're solid
You'd hope
enough
you
in their
know.
mind. Yeah, like obviously you can only do your best, innit?
Like I wouldn't go out. Like my child wouldn't have their 10th birthday and the present's gonna be Grand Theft Auto. No.
No way.
If he was like, like Dad, I was at my friend's house and we played this game. There's not much I
they're
can
not
do.
questioning their parents. Like what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that might be the setting in their house.
No, but then they're
But
sitting in your house, but without my kid.
Yeah, I
I
was
hear
just
you,
about to say.
But I'm saying there's not like it's happened now, innit? What can I do?
I can speak to the parent in the future and say,
Of
look,
course you can. You
yeah.
could just go to another friend's house and do you know like it can happen.
Yeah, it's
There's
true.
so many things that I did outside of my house that my mum doesn't know to today.
Hey, Mumsy, we love you, man.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm just saying my child could get up to all sorts outside of the house and I might not know.
How would you feel? Because I want to go back to this ownership topic. Say, for instance, you putting money aside for a kid or whatnot. So, putting £20, £10 a month in for them. And at 18, you've saved up however much you have. Let's say, for instance, you've saved up 20 grand for them. And they say, I want to take 15 and invest in something. How do you feel about that?
And how old are they?
18.
18.
If they're like, I've got a business, I've seen a business, I want to invest in it, because that's where ownership comes from taking risks. But
I'd
at
say
18, do you trust them?
Honestly, I'll be honest with you. I don't think I would use that money that I've saved up for them. I would try and look into it, whatever it is first.
Yeah.
If I have the money myself, I'll be like, okay, look, we're going to use this as a tester. Like, you're not going to put 15 in straight away.
Yeah.
Like, I would never tell an 18-year-old child to invest 15 grand straight away.
Yeah.
As much as you could prove me wrong, we don't know. So we're going to do some research.
Yeah.
You're going to show me what you've looked into. And I'll be like, you know what, son, daughter, I don't want to give you 15 because you're a new adult.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm willing to risk this, but I'm going to give you 5 grand of my own money if I have that to lose.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say,
Yeah.
we're going to give it a trial. If you come back and show me that you can double, triple or whatever,
Yeah.
then I'll give you 5 out of the 20 that I've saved for you. But I would rather you use that 20 to at least either buy a car or put a mortgage down or something.
Yeah.
And then whatever after you can go and invest.
Yeah,
Jay, what are you saying?
Yeah, like if my child was to come to me with a proposal in that sense, I wouldn't look at it as a thing of you're going to use your money, which, as you said, would have been a
Because
lot
it's
of
your
aside
money
for
at the end
certain
of the day.
thing. Yeah, like
But haven't you
it's
put it to them?
yeah, no, I've put it for them, but
But
it would have been for a specific thing in mind. So
like
whether
you would
it's-
have already had. I know this sounds bad, yeah. It's not really bad, but in your head, you already knew what you was putting that money aside for.
yeah, exactly.
Like you knew it was going to go towards a house or a car or something.
yeah.
But it's for them, if you know what I mean.
100%.
And that's my thing.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I'd come from it from full on business standpoint. I say, okay, cool. I want to see a business plan. I want to see a proposal. I want to see what you're asking for. I want to see what the return is, what I'm getting back, etc. And
But
we go from there.
when you say what you're getting back, are you saying that as your child?
Yeah, because
Because like, would you expect money back from what they get?
I would, but I wouldn't keep it for myself, if that makes sense. So, for example, when my dad was growing up, he was paying rent to my grandmother for years, from when he turned like a certain age or whatever, and he just thought she's just taking the money, whatever, which is fine. But she was putting it aside for him, and when he moved out, she gave it back to him.
Oh,
And
That's
that
very rare. I wish that was my situation.
but she gave it back to him, and that's what he used to like do the stamp duty or furnish the
That's
house
sick,
or whatever.
though, man.
So it'd be the same kind of thing. So he'd think it would be me just taking it, but that would be his or her fund. Do you know what I mean? So if it came back in and made an extra 10 bags, that's an extra 10 bags you got to spend on your yard when you're ready.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But because I want my kids to be involved in business and stuff, and I'm hoping because of my involvement with certain things, it would rub off on them anyway.
Yeah.
I'd want them to approach it from almost like they're approaching a VC, like a venture capitalist or something like that, venture capital fund or somewhere where they're getting an investment. I want them to approach it just as serious, because it's a serious amount of money. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And as you said, I probably wouldn't give them a full 15 bags straight off the bat.
No way.
Like,
No
it would
way.
have to be something
No way.
reasonable for their age.
So even if they did the research, you're still not giving them 15.
I just don't see why. I can't think of a business I'd risk with even myself. I'd risk 15 bags.
At 18 years old.
Like, yeah, I can't see it.
Yeah.
And obviously it depends on, it does to a degree depending on your position as well, because that 15 bags might not be nothing to you at that
I'll
point.
be honest with you, but even
still,
then, I could, let's say I had 5 million just sitting in an account. I still wouldn't give my child 15,000 to make an investment,
Yeah,
because I don't want them to think.
Out of 5.
Yeah, bro, because then what am I teaching them?
yeah.
We just got money to throw away.
I respect that still.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I
respect
need okay, I might have 5 million sitting in the account, but you're
that's
still
my
going
money.
to learn the same roles that I had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The same things that I learned, I had to go through. You're gonna have to learn that as well.
Well, that's like is it Branson when he used to go
Yeah,
on holiday with his
They
kids?
go on holiday. The children go in economy. They go in first class.
until the kids can
Standard.
afford to upgrade their own tickets.
I don't know how I am about that. I'll be honest.
No,
I don't
but I
know.
rate it though.
I rate it, but I don't know how I am about that.
Yeah, like Well,
How old are his kids? Because if they're like 12, that's
no,
a liberty.
they're of age. They're
Okay.
grown.
yeah,
That's a liberty if you're like 12. Like, nah, sorry.
yeah, that's different.
Because you ain't had a chance to earn the money. But if you're like 18,
But
19,
I would
20.
still expect them to earn their place there. Like when I was growing up, like all the stuff that I used to get, all the stuff that I used to have. Obviously, I couldn't have a job or
Yeah.
nothing, but I'd earn. Like I'd do stuff
Since
to
I was
get it.
15, I've been buying my own stuff.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
But
Since, like, probably a little bit later for me, like 16.
I would still make my child
Yeah,
like,
and I can definitely say I spend more money on other people than myself.
yeah, same, 100%.
I
That's
prefer,
that's a weakness. Well, not a weakness. That's a flaw. Can I call it a flaw?
it's just a trait.
What?
It's just a trait, isn't it?
That I probably spend more money on other people than myself.
Do you put other people above you?
I don't know if I put them above. If I say I put them first, then technically I put them above me. But
Are you
Depends
the
on the
main
person.
character in your own movie?
I'm probably not. You know.
Jay?
I think I am, but I do prioritize other people.
Then you can't be the main character.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm probably in what's it called? Don't be a menace. I'm probably the guy that comes up and says message. Like, my role is effective and you're gonna remember me, but I'm not the main character.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But you will remember me.
All
Do
right.
you know what I mean?
Smokey and Friday?
Nah, because that's a big role.
But not the main role, though.
It's not the main role, but it's bigger than message.
Yeah, it's true.
Do you know what I mean?
Craig's dead?
Bro, it's a legend, fam. He's there through every single Friday.
Yeah, but in that first one, would you say your role is similar to him?
Nah, bro, he's still a big act.
Mm.
Like, you'd have to say Big Worm. Do you know what I mean? Because you only see him like
But
once
is
or
that
twice.
right, though?
What?
That in your own movie, which
It's
is
not
your
right.
life,
No,
your...
I should be number one, but the problem is, and depending on how you grow up, I've been used to being the provider, but then I'm not the parent.
as a man.
Just due to family circumstances and situations,
Okay.
things that people have been through.
Mm.
Like I'm like the parent is going to be the main. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're the main characters, really. Whilst
Yeah.
you're still at home, but I've had to play a certain role, so I'm like the silent owner.
I hear that. No, that's a salute to that. Definitely. Definitely. I think with the whole 15K thing, yeah, 15K is a bit wild. I think if they had done their research and they'd given me a proposal and I'd looked it over and I had people that I knew I could trust look it over, I'd be reluctant, and I probably would at the end of the day decide on a lesser amount just to be sure, because you don't want to feel like you've accumulated all of this wealth to give to them and then they've thrown it
course.
away.
But my hope would be, in saying that if they're coming to me, you said 18, right?
18.
If they're coming to me at 18 to ask me for 15k, that's not the first proposal they've come to me with. Like, we would have done this over, like, from them growing up.
know.
Like, there would have been other stuff. Again, like, just because of how I am with business, like, I try and push it on my nieces and nephews. I haven't got any kids yet. But yeah, I try and push it on my nieces and nephews. Like, let's talk about business. How are you doing this? What do you want to achieve? What do you want? How do you plan to get that?
I have a question for you.
Hit me.
Say, for instance, you have saved 20 and you have, or your child has 5 friends that have all 20 and they want to invest 100k in something. Maybe a house, maybe a...
Wait, say it again?
So say, for instance, your daughter or son has 20k in the bank, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, Dad, Mum, Dad, I want to invest some of this in a complex, you know, or I want to invest some of this in a building, for instance. I have 5 friends that all have the same amount, you know.
At what age?
19, 20.
And
18 to
but
20.
where did they get this 20,000 from?
It's from us because we've saved it for them.
So
How
this
do
is
you
the
feel
thing,
towards
yeah?
that?
My whole thing is, I think it's more the age.
Because that's why that might be where ownership starts. I
hear
know we're
that,
talking
but
about
I think
Wakanda forever,
my
but
whole
that might
thing
be where
is-
ownership starts.
Again, my whole thing is, it's more about the age as well. Like, it's different if my 25 and up year old child came to me and said, I'm not even asking you, but I just want a bit of advice. This is what I'm about to do. What do you think? Do you know what I mean?
Would you look at them a certain way if they're 25 upwards and asking you for 20k?
They should
No,
have
but I didn't say they're asking me for money. I said they're asking me for advice.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? It's different. Like, that's your money. At that point, you got to do what you got to do and you're going to learn your own losses. Do you know what I mean? But I will give you the advice. At 18, 19, I don't know if I'm telling my child, yeah, use that 20 grand with 5. It's hard because you might not know those people in 5 years' time.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
I'd have to. There'd be a lot of diligence there.
Yeah.
It's their money though, isn't it?
Like, it is, but
It's
you
money
need
that
to
you've given
understand.
them.
It's their money, but it's
Like,
mine.
It's not like,
No,
you
not
know what?
even
It's
that.
not
It's just a
like us
guidance
three.
thing.
It's not like us three
Because-
chilling. And our children say, we want to come and speak to you free together as a group. And then they come and sit down with us and say, we have this idea. This is what we want to do.
So it's about the proposal. If they came up and spoke to us as the 5 parents of these things,
And it depends on who the parents are.
Okay.
Like, if it's us three and we've all
different.
given our children 20 grand each and they say, look, this is what we have. Thank you for giving it to us, blah, 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 blah. This is what we want to do. Like, how do you guys feel about it?
That's
I will
different.
more likely say, okay, cool. Obviously, we're going to talk about it first.
Yeah,
Definitely.
be more
But-
receptive to it.
Do you know what I
Be
mean?
more
Whereas if you
receptive
come
to
to me like, oh yeah, there's 5 people I met from uni, I don't know.
it. Like, for me,
can't put a face to the name.
I don't-
Or name to the face.
I like what you were saying earlier, and because I agree with that. I agree with that. And what you were saying earlier about oh, it's my money and all that kind of stuff. It's not even that. It's a case of experience. Like, we've all done stuff. We've all been in situations where we've done business with people. Some of them have gone well, some of them haven't gone well.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So it's just a case of being able to impart some of that wisdom on them to save them, like, saying, look, this is a big amount.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I've had losses and I've had issues in these situations, but not to that degree.
Yeah.
So we need to discuss. We need to, one, make sure that you're protected. Like, we need to protect your investment, because as much as you're saying these are your friends and all this kind of stuff, we need to know that when everything is said and
You
dusted,
need to wear an umbrella outside,
yeah,
basically.
if it doesn't go your way, your investment is protected to a degree. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Like,
See,
all of that stuff.
And even with you saying that, again, it does come down to it being my money as well. And the only reason why I say that is, the reason why I say that is, like, for example, the figure that you said that you had to pay in tax, yeah?
Yeah.
When I was doing the whole
Crazy.
House of Fame thing,
Yeah.
I basically lost that.
Shout out Saurus,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that was my money.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
My mum didn't give it to me.
Yeah.
Like, no one gave me that money.
You had to save
I got that money.
Mm.
I used it myself and I lost it. So if I wasn't 18, I would have been about 20, 21.
Yeah.
If my child came to me and says they've worked from 16 up until 18 and they have 10 grand of their own money, I can't tell you no.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah,
can,
yeah,
but you
yeah,
don't
yeah,
have to
yeah,
listen
yeah,
to
yeah.
me. Whereas if it's money that I've put aside for you, you're going to have to listen to what I'm telling you.
So
And
for
that's the
instance,
difference.
I like where you've gone there. So for instance, they've worked from 16 to 18 and they've managed to save 10 and they need 20 for something. You've saved, for instance, they don't know, but like at 21, they
It has to be
receive
less than
20
half.
grand. Would you give them the other 10?
It has to be less than half.
Fair enough.
But
What
in
would
that
you say?
situation, I would probably be more likely to give them the
Because
10.
you can see
because
that
they've
saved.
shown me
Yeah.
that they've saved this money up
Yeah.
to do something.
It's a banking concept. When you
Do you
want
know
a
what I mean?
mortgage, they want to see, all right, you're putting up some of your collateral
But
as well.
I will let them know, this don't work out, you need to stack that 10 grand back up, innit? Because I'm not giving you 20 still, you're going to get 10.
Yeah.
Because you took your 10. Now you have to use this 10 on what I want you to do with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Question: if they saved 10 and you gave them a 10 for an idea and they wanted 20 and you only gave them 10 and their investment paid off 10 100 fold and they became millionaires, would you expect any money back?
Hell no. No way.
No, not at
Are you
all.
mad?
Not at all.
If they give it to me,
Yeah.
I'll be like you don't need to, innit? But thank you. That will
Yeah.
just sit in the account for
Because
maybe
there's
their
some
younger
people,
sibling.
yeah.
But I don't.
But there's some people that will feel like I helped you get to that point, so why wouldn't
Then
I
they've
get
got
some-
parent-
Those
all
people
wrong.
are deadbeats. Sorry.
Yeah, got parenting all wrong.
No, those people are deadbeats.
All wrong. Like, do you know what my thing is? Yeah, I wouldn't expect it back in money form there and then. But just know when I am elderly and I
Yeah.
can't function, you better be taking care of daddy, innit?
Yeah, exactly.
And what if they didn't?
Exactly.
Then I'd probably be like, right, you're a snake, you're a pagan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I did all of this and you couldn't look after me when I got old.
Yeah.
Could at least put me into a good care home if you don't want me in your house.
yeah.
Question,
You know what I mean?
question again. So
Yeah.
say for instance you and your partner, you disagree on the fact of giving this money up. And for instance, you're adamant that no, you're 18. You know.
Oh, so now you and the partner's disagreeing.
Yeah. And she gives the 10 G's.
No, she.
And it
she
doesn't
couldn't.
pay off. And it doesn't pay off.
I'll be
first
honest
of all.
with you.
What's your reaction?
And this
to
ain't
that?
even, I'm not
Because
even
do you
trying
look
to
at
sound.
the wife and do you look at do you look at the wife and do you look at the kid like I told you not to and you still went ahead with
course.
it, or do you
Yeah.
look at the wife and say this is solely your fault?
No,
Do you know what- Go on.
it would have to be for it to happen in my household, the way I see it. For it to happen, the decision would have to be unanimous. If either of us is opposing, then it can't happen, and it would be the child's responsibility to convince the person that's not convinced.
The only way it could happen,
That Alan Sugar stuff.
the only way it could happen is if my wife had a separate
Okay.
10 grand in her own account.
Even then, that's an issue in itself.
No, even then, I'd still have a problem with
No,
it.
I
still.
wouldn't though.
Even then, I'd have a problem with it because,
Okay.
as far as I'm concerned, maybe this is just my warped opinion of stuff, but my money kind of it's for our household. It's for our unison. We're doing this thing together.
I
You
heard that,
understand?
but she could have had a certain amount of money stacked up before we got together.
yeah,
And
yeah.
if she's used that to help out her child, I'm not going to argue
Yeah.
with you.
I think I'd have a problem. I'd feel away, and we discuss it.
I'd
but,
rather you have to tell me first.
Yeah.
Like you need to come to me and say, look, we disagree, but I have my own money that you know about,
Yeah.
and I want to support my child in this. Cause the thing is, a mother's reaction instinct is totally different to a father's. Do you know what I mean?
The problem I'd have with it is that I feel like
What she's going against what you said.
there's that,
I don't think it's that deep.
but no, but it's the problem I'd have is there might be a lesson there that she's denying him or her by giving in. And
You
giving
say
the
that,
money.
but then she could.
because if he's come with some half-hearted business plan,
That's
and it's-
different.
and
But
it's-
then there's
it's
so many
not
things you could
thorough.
add. Then
and it's just like, yeah, look, it's just a good idea. Like, it's my brethren. He done it and he made
but
bare
you
dough.
know that the type of woman that you're going to marry isn't gonna just.
No, of
Do you know
course.
what I mean?
I'm playing kind
So-
of devil's advocate. Do you know what I
But
mean?
Yeah, for me, if it's her money and she came to me and said, look, I understand that we disagreed, but I really want to support my son or daughter in this venture. This is what I'm going to do with my own money. I'm not taking it from you or our joint account. Blah blah blah. Cool, because for all I know, it could turn out to be the greatest investment of their lives.
No,
Exactly.
Of course.
Do you know what I
of course.
mean?
They could be the next Bill Gates.
So there you go. So I'm like, you
Yeah.
know what? Cool. If you're going to agree to it, that's on you. But when it goes wrong, don't come to me. Don't come to me. Cause I'll be like, I told you so, innit?
Yeah. And I hear that.
Do you know what I mean?
no one wants that petty side, but you know it's coming
know?
out.
No,
I
of course.
told you.
You know what I
I
mean?
told you.
Because we've been through our own experiences.
Yeah.
We might not always, we might not be right. We're not right all the time.
Do you know what? Does it matter the particular type of thing they want to invest in. So if it's housing, or if it's in music, or if it's in something else,
To a
do you
degree.
look? Does it give you a look or a certain response? So for instance, your child comes to you at 18, like, Dad, I want to start a music company. Like, I've looked at Rockefeller's example, blah blah blah. I've done my research. I know I need this amount. Like, what are you saying?
You see the thing with that though, with music, you don't need so much to start off. So I would.
But if they want to start at a level above the competition,
No, you can't. You
Grind.
can't buy graft.
I need you to show me.
oh, say that one more time, Jay.
You can't buy graft.
Oh.
I need to see the work.
Yeah, I need you to show
I'm
me
giving
that you
myself
can
a
go out
siren.
there. Like, you need to understand the role of different levels in that business. So you need to show me to go out. You need to show me that you can go out there and scout and find talent. Yeah. So you need to play the role of an A&R.
Yeah.
And not only is that just scouting, but you need to show me that you can get in contact with radios. It doesn't have to be big radio stations.
No.
You can start on the ground level, like the online stations and whatnot. Then you need to show me that you can get your artist to maybe open up for another. It doesn't have to be an A-lister, but just show me that you can get them to a certain level. If you then get to the level of who can we use as an example?
G Fresh.
Nah, because someone a bit lower.
Shout out G Fresh, by the way.
If you can show me you can get to the level of Dave before releasing Funky Friday,
Yeah.
then I'm like, you put in some work.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I fully agree with you. Like, there's even I can't speak on that. There's when people skip stuff because they're backed by money,
Yeah.
I see them chasing their tails
Yeah.
and skipping things that they shouldn't necessarily skip, and that would worry me. Do you know what I mean? Like,
And then they might think that they can always fall back on you as well.
yeah, like the industry that I'm in, the industry that like my business resides in, I've done every level. Like, I've literally done every role there is to do to a degree within that industry.
Yeah.
Like, over the past how many years that I've been involved in it from day dot, from Genesis. So from doing that, I have a better understanding of how it works. So nothing phases me. Like, things don't catch me off guard, really. Like, I'm able to be fluid and flexible as per the requirements of my business. Whereas if you've kind of skipped that graft and skipped that knowledge gaining experience,
Yeah.
you're gonna fall at the first hurdle.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Because you don't have no experience. All you have is money.
yeah, and I've literally come across people like that, and I've seen them rise and fall very, very quickly.
And 10 grand ain't buying you a number one hit, bro.
Nah,
I see what you're saying, but then there comes an element of risk with ownership, right? There must be an element of risk attached.
100%.
So out of the 20, you're saying 5 would be the element of risk that you're willing to give your child.
But wait, here's the thing though. Because if you're going to use that to say ownership, I would have built a lot before my child comes into it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Correct.
So we've already got, well, hopefully we've got, between, because it can't just be me. So I'd have to look at it like, let's say us three.
Yeah.
We would have to have had at least 20% of this ownership because it's going to take generations. So every
Yes.
generation might get like 20% each or 10%.
Yeah.
So when my child comes to me with this proposition, we would have already had our 10% of ownership cleared.
Yeah.
So he's on his way.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
and that's locked in.
But what if he
That's
feels
certain.
like he wants to build his own way?
But that will still be part of the same ownership. Now, my child is going to have to understand, no matter what you do, it comes back to the 10% ownership that me and your uncles have.
Correct.
They're going to have to understand that.
Yeah.
Because if you want to go your own way, then where are we going to get to?
I think
You can
that's part-
expand.
I think that's part
You
of the
can
problem.
expand,
though.
but
Do you
it still comes back to the 10% that we have.
Yeah.
Do you
Nah,
think
I
that's
agree.
part of the problem, that in regards to ownership,
work
that
together.
there's not only that we don't
We don't work together. We don't
Yeah,
work
we don't
together.
work
I
together,
agree.
but
I
because
agree.
there's so many different things, it's hard to almost shift your energy into one thing. Like one thing that I loved, an example of it, which was ownership, which I really loved, was it was in East London,
Mm.
and it was popular old school movie. So they showed Love and Basketball. I think it was.
Was this an outside cinema?
Outside
Okay,
cinema?
Yeah.
It might have been in
I know
South.
someone that does that.
Yeah,
might have
they do
been
like the old, like
Block
90s
Party.
movies.
Block Party.
Yeah,
that's
that's
exactly what it was.
That's Lance and them still.
Okay.
That's an example of something where all of the energy was shifted towards that one area because there's nothing else like it.
Yeah.
But I feel like everyone's trying to, I don't know, and I can't speak on it, but it feels like everyone who has a little bit of money and not necessarily the business now is just like, oh, let's start a business because we can.
Well, it's fashionable now.
Yeah.
Being an entrepreneur, and I
Yeah.
don't even call myself that no more because it's now.
What do you
wrapped
call
with-
yourself? Caramel sensation.
No,
Businessman, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just doing my thing.
Businessman on the way up.
I'm just doing my thing.
It's
I
like
wouldn't
being
even-
woke, bro.
Yeah.
Like some people are.
I didn't like that. I've never liked that phrase.
I don't, but it's some people are just being woke because it's trendy.
Yeah, it's literally. It's
Like
fashionable.
I know men that are pretending to be woke so they can get with certain women.
Yeah.
What is woke?
Supposedly woke is when you are aware and
I'm awake. Yes, I'm awake.
you're very conscious of
Yeah,
your
I'm not doing the thing with the third eye though. That's crazy.
No, like imagine.
or DMT.
Yeah.
That's the next thing, but yeah, that's the drugs episode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's another episode.
Shout out Neps.
yeah. Neps, we see you.
Yeah, man.
But no, I'm the whole woke idea. The whole terminology is like it's an umbrella term, isn't it? Because you might be woke in one capacity and I might be woke in
But
another.
I think
It's an
in
umbrella
that way, it's
capacity.
all to do with like black power.
Yeah, and history, black
Yeah.
history, and where we
Like
came
you need to
from.
know where. Yeah, you need.
But
to
no
know
one
your
knows
roots.
all of black history. It's not impossible.
No, it's
100%
too
not.
it's too fragmented for everybody to know everything. But you can gain a bigger knowledge to understand that what we've been fed
Yeah.
isn't necessarily
And
the
you
truth.
have to understand
Amen.
is that comes from everything that was going on in America.
Mm.
So in somewhere like America, yes, like a child needs to be woke. You need to understand, what you will most likely go through if you
What
are
you're
a
stepping
young black
into
man.
as a black
Yeah.
person.
You know what I mean?
We're
Like,
quite
if you get pulled over by the police, you might die. It's sad, but
Yeah, no, it's truth though.
that's what it is. Do you know what I mean?
We're quite fortunate that we live in a Western environment without some of those dangers.
Oh, we're very lucky.
Like we're quite fortunate.
Some of
for
those
that
horrors,
still.
definitely.
Yeah,
know what I
like
mean?
obviously it's not all sun and roses, but
Yeah.
I would never try and make out like it's anywhere.
It's
as
nothing
bad
like
here.
America.
It's not a war
Like it
zone.
is out there.
First of
Nothing
all,
like
it's not a
America.
war
America
zone.
scares
But-
me, bro.
With what you were saying about like us branching out, I don't think there's anything wrong with branching out.
I asked this
I
question.
just think it depends on who you're doing it with.
Yeah, I asked this question at uni long time ago now, and I almost got lambasted for it. I asked a question, or the question was asked, and I said, black people, it might be a good idea to segregate for 5-10 years in order to build our skills up. So when we reintegrate, we're of a level where we are capable of, interacting at a
don't
higher
know.
plane.
I-
And the
I
problem, the
agree
reason
with-
why I was one of the only black people in there, but the main consensus was that no, because the reintegration process would be more trouble than the separation. But my thing is, it's okay to say that if you're in a superior position. It's almost like me saying to someone, if I've got the crippler crossface on someone, and then they're saying to me, "Oh, you know what? Do you mind if I come back and learn some skills, and then and then we'll try wrestling again?" Obviously, I'm in the superior position, so I'm most likely to be like, "Nah, bro, I've got you where I want you right now. I don't want you to go back and learn some skills, because what if you learn to reverse this and hurt me?" You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you, but
There's
two
there
things.
must have been a butt there.
But yeah, two things. One, I wish you wouldn't have said it, because that needs to happen in silence. Like if it's gonna happen, we can't let them know that it's happening.
No, of course.
It's got to happen in the thing of
But
they
me saying
think
it
they
doesn't mean
think we're
anything.
still
Yeah.
think we're still integrating all that kind of stuff, but behind the scenes we're doing our own stuff.
Yeah.
100%.
But me saying it, no, this was something, as I said, this was a discussion I had. It doesn't take
Mm.
away from the fact that some people might be doing it. I'm just saying that this was a discussion that I had, and this is a young me. This is a 20-year-old me.
You
having this.
need to remember, yeah. And this may be a bit wild saying it, but the majority of white people do not care if things get better for us. Quite frankly.
Yeah.
They may care in a Facebook sense. So they'll comment on a post and be like, "Oh, that's terrible." But really and truthfully, if they were in the situation, they saw something happen on the street, they're going to put their headphones in and keep walking.
They don't care if things get better for us, but they care if we become better than them.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly,
the only thing.
exactly. That's what I was getting to. So they don't care because right now the plight and stuff that we deal with, it doesn't affect them in a sense other than making them feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah,
But if we was moving into a position
they're
of power,
uncomfortable all the time.
there'd
Walk
be an
behind
issue.
a white woman, see how uncomfortable she is.
Yeah. Nah,
Does slavery still affect us?
of course. It affects us, but it affects us in the wrong way.
Why do
doesn't-
you think it still affects us?
Because a lot of people still carry around a chip on our shoulder. Don't get twisted. We need
But with
to
our
learn.
own kind.
We need to learn. We need to learn from the things that we've been through, 100%. So we can never forget and cast things aside. And we need to carry to a degree some of the passion and anger that we have from slavery because we were wronged. It was like, for example, I have conversations with people and they'll talk about, oh yeah, but you can't do that because it's breaking the law. Slavery was legal. Like they decided that we were okay to be classed as property and do whatever the hell you want to do with us. So we need to carry some of that rage with us to make sure that we keep in mind where we came from.
Is that rage not
and
holding
why
us back?
And why these people aren't for us.
Is that rage not holding us back? Because we're taking into account their opinion.
That's why I'm saying like we need to. There's a balance. Is what I'm trying to put forward.
I think, and I'll say this, obviously Kanye West's views were ridiculous. I don't even like saying his name. Slavery definitely was not a choice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, by definition, if you're going to be, you had a choice to either die, kill yourself, or be a slave. I mean, if that is your demographics of a choice, then fair enough. But what I will say is, I think slavery can't still be affecting us or shouldn't still be affecting us in 2018 because that's something our ancestors went through. And although it's like parenting, things are going to trickle down from parents. They're going to trickle down. Hold on a second. They're going to trickle down from parents and you're going to carry on some of their ideals. This happened hundreds of years ago. Is there not something now where there's a realization, there's a realization that yes, we know they're not for us, but why do we need to carry this anger? Can't we just carry a level of, okay, this is how we need to carry ourselves?
Because all right, you're making reference to slavery, like specifically. Okay, yeah, that did happen hundreds of years ago. But if you,
but we're slaves now.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like the stuff that we're suffering, like there was still, segregation. What 50 or 60 years ago that there was still things like
less
that.
than that in
Like,
South Africa, it's still like that. It's
like
still
we
kind of mad.
we can actively go to people in our families and have them tell us stories about when these things were happening.
Right.
So it's not that far away in the past that we can just be like, okay, cool, we need to move forward now. I understand what you're saying, definitely, but we wouldn't be in the position that we are in if that hadn't have happened.
Yeah, but we can say that about a lot of things, though, man.
Yes, but if you look at the condition, like if you look at the position we're in, we're literally being murdered in the States. We're literally being murdered in the States, and there's no
Question.
recompense, there's no justice about it and all
like
that
that
kind
word.
of stuff because of generally our history.
Question.
We were seen as cattle.
Let me ask you a question.
Go on.
So I know the States is different from the UK,
Yeah.
and I know some people say sometimes you can't blame the victim.
Yes.
How much do you hold black people accountable?
Don't get twisted. Where we can be our worst enemy, 100%.
To have 100%, how much would you hold us accountable?
I would say we're to a degree accountable, but there's been, I don't like to use, I'm not even going to use that word actually. There's been there's been a lot of conditioning to make us hate ourselves. Like they used to make us fight against each other. Like they used to have what's the thing?
They
like,
didn't. You know what? I'm arguing.
Like
you know,
UFC stuff. Like again, like
I
just
agree with
seeing
you.
black people tear people
I'm
apart.
gonna argue from the other point, though.
Look at the whole phrase of house niggas. You used to have people in the house that would do the oppression to their brothers. Like black people would sell black people and be rewarded for it. So they've done these things to break down the bonds of we can help each other and support each other and all that kind of stuff. So that 100 years from now or 200 years from now, those things have manifested into us not supporting each other and us killing each other and all this kind of stuff.
so you think that's still relevant from that today?
Yes, 100%. 100%.
But then who
Because
makes
it's
it
this-
relevant?
Don't
We
get.
do.
We do,
And these are the
but
people. But I'm arguing from their point of view for this second because I'm giving you the devil's
devil's advocate.
advocate. None of the people that are probably doing that now were alive in that time.
Okay.
So why are they continuing traditions? Is my question. Why are you continuing traditions of something that you weren't a part of?
If I let's say you're growing up, yeah,
Yeah.
and it was in a Harry Potter film. But
Mike's
I'll
chime
come
in
back to
too.
that.
I'm listening.
Let's say you're growing up, and every time you pick up a bottle of water,
Yeah.
I beat you.
Okay.
Every single time you pick up a bottle of water to drink it, I beat you. Whether you drink it or not, every time you touch the bottle and I see you,
Yeah.
I ras you.
Yeah.
That's gonna put you off drinking water. Like regardless of whether you consider it or not, and you can say, "Oh no, my mind frame wouldn't work like that." Literally, it would happen.
It would happen.
You've been engineered
Right.
to associate water with pain.
I agree. Go on.
So that's kind of a testament to the ability to kind of not brainwash someone,
But does that not
condition
filter
someone.
down through the generations?
It filters
But
down.
then how about the trauma?
But then
What about the trauma just being brought through that down by a generation?
Well, I'm saying
exactly.
that's
That's what I'm saying.
that is-
It doesn't
but then
filter
there
away.
comes a point.
It filters down to something much more canine, if you want to call it, or much more not savage. I can't think of the word. It filters down to something much more innate, to something that is subconscious. So in the first instance of that happening,
Yeah.
where this is taking place, it's a very conscious thing of you saying, no, I'm associating that with that.
Yeah.
And then you pass that on to your children, for example. You say, don't you drink that water, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So it's come from being a physical thing of you being able to relate a physical action to you being taught something. And then that get passed, and you may experience it a few times, and it filters down from something very surface to something very deep and something very internal.
Someone
in
might
you.
say
I
it's a reach,
understand that.
but you could have people say discipline.
I'm understanding.
physical
No, I understand
discipline.
that, but I'm talking
Because
about through generations. I'm not talking about
discipline coming down
individuals.
in generation.
It's
I
different.
can't generalize, but white people don't get disciplined the same way as black people get disciplined.
Of course not.
Do you
But
know what I
it's
mean?
no. But what I'm
And-
saying is different.
And where do you think, like going
We
back in
learned
years,
that.
where do you think we learned that from?
100%. It was. You think it was natural for us to think, you know what? To tell you to stop doing the thing I don't like you to do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat it into you.
I don't
That
think
would
that was
never be the
natural.
case.
Think about it.
That will never be the case. Never.
So yeah, that's
It's different though. That's what I'm saying to you. Like when you
Nobody gets beat like black kids. Sorry.
not at all.
Nobody
Whether
gets
you're
beat.
Caribbean or
Mexicans.
African, it's not.
It's innate.
But what I'm saying to you is, no, I understand that. But
It's-
then
it's-
doesn't there come a point though where somebody has to make the conscious decision of this is what it is now. This is what it was, but this is what it has to be
Yeah,
now.
but that has
How
to, but that has
how
to
long?
happen on a big scale.
No,
though,
but then
bro.
how long can we keep blaming slavery? I'm talking to somebody who I'm
The
an
thing is,
advocate.
I
Hold on.
don't blame. I
But
don't
hold
blame
on a second.
slavery.
I'm an advocate of black people, and I want us to succeed. I'm a big advocate of black people, and I want us to be on a level playing field. But where comes the point where we look at some of the actions that we do and we're like, you know what? Yes, we've been put in predicaments, but the change begins with us. I think some of us are still waiting for a handout. We are still waiting for a handout. We are. I mean, look. If you look at like it's
What do you
evident.
class
It's,
as a handout?
But fam, if you look at
a handout is given to somebody who doesn't necessarily
Yeah,
deserve
I know.
it or
I
work
know
for
where it is, but I'm saying, okay, but what would you say is the handout that people are waiting
When
for?
people pull the racist card for things that aren't particularly racist, and I have been guilty of this in the past, before I understood what a graft was, you can't expect to put in half effort. I know the way the world is set up. As a young child, my mum always told me, my dad always told me, you need to work twice as hard. I understand that, but
Where
you
do you
can't
think that
expect,
came from?
But you can't expect. Hold on, you can't expect to put in a quarter of the graft and expect the same spoils
Where
as
do you
people.
think that came from? You could say that's a positive from slavery if you wanted to reach.
I wouldn't even say how. No, but how could you
I'd agree
directly
with that.
link that to slavery? How?
because if you
Because of
didn't
what they
work
had
twice
to
as
do.
hard as
No,
the
but
other
that-
person, you die, fam. You would work till you're dead,
Nah.
fam.
What do you mean?
So wait, are you
And the
gonna
fact
say,
that
are
we
you
had
going to
it-
say that slavery literally is?
I
the
said
link
it.
to
I said it.
starting
I said
all?
it could be a
That's
reach.
rubbish.
I said it could be a reach.
I think it is a reach because
But
you're
it could
basically
st-
saying
but
that
someone
life
could
started at
argue it.
slavery. Life didn't start slavery. It did not start slavery. We
I'm
were
not
kings
s-
and
I'm-
queens way
Hey,
before
I'm
slavery.
not saying,
Hey, but that was
I'm
all
not s-
wiped out.
I'm not saying
That was all wiped out.
I'm
It's
not
not
saying
wiped
that
out.
it's
It's still
was,
there.
But it was wiped out, is what I'm
Fam.
saying.
Egypt is right. No, hold on a second. Egypt is
Yeah, but
Northern
this
Africa.
is you. This is you.
That's
bro.
what I'm saying.
No, but Egypt
We
is
have
still
to
there. You can
think
still see the
about-
pyramids.
No, but
Can you not? That's
fam.
Northern Africa. I know they don't like to represent themselves as
I hear
Africans.
what you're
I
saying.
know what
If
they're
you
saying,
take-
but
but
it's
if you
there.
take-
Okay, but did they show you that in Wakanda?
Did they show us what? They showed us black excellence in Wakanda.
If you take a civilization or a race or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and these are people that have built themselves up to a point of power,
Yeah.
built themselves up to a point of having knowledge and riches and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If you then take that same population and remove all of the things that they identify with, yeah, so the same way you can have idols and people to look up
So
to.
kill
and
off all of
adore.
your idols.
So if you remove everything that they identify with, you remove their identity. Yeah? If you then recondition them to what you want them to be, yeah? It's a simple, it's to a degree as simple as training an animal. Because if you take something out of its natural habitat, if you take a person out of its natural habitat, you remove all
So
these
we're
things.
still suffering from the reconditioning. This is what you're saying to me. In 2018,
I'm telling
we are
telling you,
suffering from reconditioning.
That's not what we're saying, but
I'm
you're
not
not
saying-
listening.
What he's saying.
No,
No,
you're
no,
not
no,
listening.
that's-
You haven't even let him finish.
I'm
That's
listening.
not what I'm
he's
saying. That's not
No.
what I'm saying. That's not
All right,
what
I'm
saying.
shut up. Go on.
You've essentially hit reset on a whole race of people. Then from that reset point, you've injected this lie, this construct, this false idol, this, that, blah, 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 blah. You've turned everything that these people used to hold of value into a form and a method of control. You've riddled them with violence and subservience and all this kind of stuff, to then expect these people who've gone through that for hundreds of years, like they wiped out so much of us anyway. So there's so many bloodlines and all that kind of stuff that stopped during that period of time. Like, I think it was it Haiti or one of them islands where the population went from a bustling, busy island to essentially nobody because of how many people they wiped out during this period of time. Yeah.
Okay.
So you've broken these people down to nothing. Then you've re-engineered them into believing that they were subservient beings that were literally bred to thing. Like, you stop communication, education, all that kind of stuff. Yeah? Because we were smart before, but when we were slaves, we had no education. We couldn't read, we couldn't write, all this kind of stuff. Yeah?
And
the
now
ones
we
that could
believe,
got punished,
we believe
yeah.
that these people are now superior to us.
Yeah, because that's what they've engineered into us. So yeah, 100 years down the line and all this kind of stuff, we are able to look into our history and say, okay, cool, so before all of that happened, we were kings and queens, and we did have knowledge.
In
and
a
all that kind of
digital
stuff,
age, this shouldn't
etc.
exist.
100%, but my
then
brothers are
that-
still
but-
dying,
And you have to remember,
and
back
nothing
then,
is being
they
done
didn't
for
have
it, fam.
access to the things that we have access to.
My
So there was
people-
some. I reckon there was some people that didn't even realize that we were kings and
Yeah,
queens.
bruv, real talk. I
But
swear
I'm
to-
saying in
bruv, I
2018
swear-
we're in a digital
bruv, I
age
swear
now.
to you,
Okay,
I
but
swear
you've got
to you, I didn't know
places
that.
are outside of these up to date.
I swear to you, I did not know that.
What?
Growing up, that we were kings and queens. I swear to you, I did not know that, fam.
Obviously, because of the history in which they choose to teach
There you
you.
go. But, and you
100%.
still
But
got
then
certain-
whose responsibility is on us
Bro.
to teach that
Okay,
history?
fine, but you still got
That's our
certain
responsibility.
but you still got certain countries
but
and
we're only
places
now
that don't have
taking that-
technology, and they're killing off one another for land, and they don't know no better. So I get what you're saying,
And
but
do you relate that to slavery, or do you relate that to human instinct of needing to survive and killing to
I
live?
think if it's all you know, then it's all you know, and it goes back to whenever it started from.
So what if somebody's never been introduced to slavery? All they know is I have to kill to live. That's not, you can't relate
Who
that
did they
to
learn that from?
human instinct. It's human instinct.
Human instinct is not to kill. We're not carnivores.
No, human instinct is definitely to destroy. We are definitely carnivores. 1,000,000%.
Fam,
%.
we were building before we destroyed stuff.
Nah, not true. But the human nature.
Did you not?
If
see
you
the
ever read a
pyramids?
book, hold on 1 second. If you ever read a book called Sapiens, it tells you of 3 different revolutions. The last one is the scientific revolution. The first one is the cognitive. The second one is the agricultural. We are built to destroy. Yeah. No matter what look at the state of the planet. That's all I need to tell you.
Mhm.
The planet is supposed to be able to be sustainable for hundreds, thousands, millions of years. The way in which the planet is going, within the next few hundred years, we won't probably be here. I
Yeah,
know
no,
I won't. I won't be
100%.
here after probably the next 50.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with that.
Because
I've seen
humans don't know how to enable life or keep life at a certain. We don't know how to do it. Humans have a self-destruct button. We don't know how to cater to life, and so
I don't feel like that's the reason why we was put on this earth.
No. Listen, that's here nor there. We won't know, but I don't think you can actively say that humans aren't destructive beings. We're very destructive.
Yeah, but that's
We're very
different. That's
destructive.
different to saying that we're here to destroy. I don't believe we was
We're
put
not
on
here
this.
to destroy, but we are actively destroyers. We're not here to do it, but we actively are part of that role.
I think it's one of those situations, where, they say history is written by the victors.
Yeah, of course.
The people that are in power have got there by doing what? By destroying,
Of
by
course.
enslaving, by all these things. Like Christopher Columbus didn't discover nothing, rude boy.
Of course.
You got there was people there, you didn't like them, so you took it.
Siren
Yeah.
yourself.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Like all of that kind of stuff. This is how our current world order came about. So of course it's going to perpetuate itself and become a catalyst for more of that to take place. So yeah, I don't think humans in their design and in their natural state are destructive. The people that are in power and the people that have essentially won up until this point are destructive and are destroying the planet.
But they're humans.
If you look at things like, but they represent a certain type of human, fam. Like if you look at the cattle industry, the agriculture industry, like that's going to be probably single-handedly the reason why we all die. Like there's not enough to sustain it, and it's known. But because of the income that it generates, it won't be stopped. So because of greed, because of I can make money in my lifetime by removing the opportunity for generations after me to have a lifetime. Their concept of that is do that. That's fine. Do you understand? It's if you look at politics, they don't fix anything because it may hinder their ability to get re-elected and lose favour amongst their peers, rather than actually finding a problem and fixing it. Do you understand? If you look, for example, how they're legalizing medical marijuana and all that kind of stuff. That's
They need
something
to.
that they're in the process
Puff,
of doing.
puff, pass.
Yeah. How long has alcohol been legal for, and how many deaths and issues and all this kind of stuff has alcohol been responsible for since it's been made legal? But nothing's been done to stop it. Another example, yeah. People put out. Huh?
Business.
Fam. No. But a different example. A different example. Yeah.
I really that.
a different example. Because it's the same thing with alcohol, same thing with cigarettes, same thing with all those kind of stuff. If you look at speeding cameras, yeah, it's been scientifically proven. Studies have taken place that speeding cameras cause more accidents than they stop, because people see the camera, they slam on their brakes and panic, they lose control, they crash. That people have died because of it.
Can't blame the camera though.
No. But hear what I'm saying. It's not difficult to put speed limiters in cars. A lot of the cars on the road that are manufactured after a certain date have that facility in it. My dad's car has it in there. My van has it on it. And my van's quite old. Like all these vehicles have the ability to do that. So all you would have to do is make an agreement with the manufacturers and set a law that linked in with your sat-nav technology that's in your car, that's already built in, that's going to be linked in with your speed limiter. So if you're on a road that the limit is 30, the maximum the car will go is 30. If you're on a road that's 70, the maximum your car will go is 70. It's not an expensive thing to establish.
By the way, proving my humans are destructive, because that could be done.
But,
by the way,
you've just proved my point. But wait. I'm going to get to that. So it's not difficult to do that, but because of the amount of revenue they get from speed cameras, so they make money off of people's mistakes and accidents and all that kind of stuff, and the money from the car manufacturing industry, etc., they don't fix the problem, they monetize it.
Humans are destructive.
But that's not humans, that's who's in power.
Who are humans, unless they're aliens? Are they aliens?
They might be, fam.
No,
That's
they're
that's a
humans.
reasonable estimation. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Humans are
Like-
destructive. It's the fact. It's just a matter of fact.
I'm sorry to say this on air. White people are destructive.
Yeah,
I
that's
said
Super
it.
J who said that,
I said
and
it.
that's Mike's clapping.
I said it. I'm not gonna lie to you. White people.
Do you
are
think if
destructive.
black people were in power, the way white people are, we'd be treating them the same? And it's easy to say no because we are not in power like that.
I don't think we would.
It's easy to say no.
I don't think we would have put them through slavery.
Mm.
You know, there's a black people that sold black people to slavery first. You know that, right?
I've heard.
Mm. I don't know, fam. I don't know. I think
My thing is, when are we going to toe the line in regards to when are we going to say enough's enough? Now, we can research our history. We don't
You
have to
can
read it.
say it, but to get the majority,
mass
that's
scale.
a whole.
when
That's
you say
a whole
enough is
different
enough,
thing.
in what respect? What do you mean?
That's
Like, I've like for me, as I said, a small measure of that is I've had enough of slavery movies. I've seen that narrative.
Yeah, I
5
agree.
gazillion, trillion,
But
billion
it will
times.
happen when we stop feeding that machine. So, for example, Chris Brown released a song the other day with Little Dicky, where they do a role reversal.
Please, Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday, yeah. Where they do the role reversal, and he gets to the chorus, and man's like, "Oh, my nigga, nigga, I'm that nigga," and all that kind of stuff, yeah. And even in the song, it's playing on the fact that this person who's on the role reversal, who is white, is now able to say the word nigga because he's black. Now, as a DJ, I'm not gonna lie, I avoid playing it because I don't agree with it.
I woke up in Chris Brown.
Like, don't get twisted. Like, I understand that it's a banger and people love it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But in Sats Wrong Response, I played it at an event,
It went crazy, right?
and yeah, they went mad for it. And the entire audience, there was not one black person in the audience, and
You heard that part, innit?
everybody said nigga. Like, everybody
That
in
bothered
there
you, innit?
said it. 100%. It burnt me to my core.
But what bothers you more, the fact that we as black people have tried to reverse the word and make it into our own, or the fact that and put it into songs like that, or the fact that white people use it? Because I for me personally,
Both.
unless in very extreme and even then circumstances, that word was taken out of my vocabulary at about 21.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I said
think
to myself, if this is a word that has been used in order to oppress and to show hate towards people of my own color, why would I use it? Does it make any sense?
yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. And you can
So
you
then
can
I
show
blame the
me.
artist for using it.
Yeah, no, I said it's Chris Brown.
Yeah.
100%. And
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with everything you said there. If it's something that's riddled with so much hate and so much anguish and so much blood is on that word.
Yeah.
For us to use that, and however we try and say, oh yeah, it's empowering and all this kind of stuff, is wrong. We should just totally get rid of it and be very offended and very vocal about how offended we are when people use that word, whether they're people of color or not. Because then we get into these situations where people are like, oh yeah, no, I can say it because I've got black friends or this or that and all that kind of stuff. No, it doesn't make sense to me. We may as well just snub it out and done. But these are things that I think we're starting to learn now. Things are changing. Things are changing in my
They
opinion.
are.
The past couple of years, maybe 3 years, I've seen real change.
Do you know what it is? I see change in regards to US and the UK. I feel like when we were growing up, there was obviously more of a tie to the US, and we had to look to the US for examples. I feel like now, a lot of the world their eyes are on us for a lot of things, and with that becomes a certain responsibility. Now, I feel like if we could show that there's more ownership, that might be something that is a beacon from us that we're able to spread out to others.
I mean, ownership provides a level of independence from their system, which they've created. And
Shout out
obviously-
Nipsey Hussle, by the way.
Like it provides a level of independence from their system. Like I one of the goals that I would love is if there were no black people relying on government aid, so like benefits and all that kind of stuff. Just look after our own, innit? Do what we need to do, keep ourselves away from that. And people are, no, you got to play the system and get what you can out of it and all that kind of stuff. But no, fam, if you're sipping their drinks, they can put what they want in it. Do you know what I mean?
Can we have an Edgware Road?
I like that.
I think we can. I think it's going to be hard won. So it's going to be something that we're going to have to fight very hard for because they're going to be against it. And it would have to be I think we'd have to do it as like a sneak thing. So maybe like get like our Indian brethren or something to front it. And then all of a sudden, boom, all the shops are black. So literally, like, maybe not even Indian. Like,
can we work
get
together?
Get a coolie brethren who looks Indian, guy in there, and he buy that one. Then you buy the one next door. Then all that kind of stuff. Like your white brethren that's got a black husband, she can buy the one next door, and then they just swap all the ownership into black people, and then boom.
The question is, would they want to help us?
Would you want to help us?
People that aren't of us.
That doesn't matter. We don't need their help. And
We do right now.
No, we don't. We literally don't.
Because a lot of people will say it's backdated money, which is why we aren't in a position. But I think there's a lot of ignorance that ties into it as well.
What, the whole 48 acres and a mule thing?
Yeah.
We can we'll be waiting for that forever. It's a carrot on a stick that they distract us with. It's a carrot on a stick. If we focus on trying to get this 40 acres and a mule, then the whole time we're trying to reach for that, we're not building nothing of our own thing. Use that same energy to rather than get a handout from these people.
Brotherhood as well, man.
Yeah, fam.
We definitely black brotherhood.
Because I know a lot of black men that have decent amount of money, and if they came together, they could make a big impact. But because of what postcode was, and greed and envy, they will never come together.
We're not trusting of one another as well. That's the other issue.
Now, this is one thing that I might take into account. Has fear been imparted from the adverse and after effects of something like slavery?
Yeah.
To the lack of trust in each other.
It's not even just that, it's a fear of independence. That's why a lot of people gravitate towards literally stable jobs, which aren't stable because someone is waiting to replace you the next day.
I had this conversation with you. We said that the people in the middle, it might have been you, people in the middle are in the worst position. Because if you're in the bottom, you have nothing. And you literally, the only way is up. So you have to graft. If you're at the top, you already have all the connections. So being in the middle is your stable job. You either risk it or try to make some of the connections with the people at the top, or you risk it and you lose everything. You end up on the bottom.
I just want to say a message to everyone that's in the middle, like in your stable job, and we're not filming, but I'm doing the in quote, out quote brackets and all that kind of stuff. I love you, like do your grind and all that kind of stuff, but please keep in mind, if you were to die tomorrow, you would be replaced within 48 hours. They do not care, fam. Like, I am a strong believer that every man should be the master of their own ship. That's been my goal, and I'm there. Like, regardless of how big my ship is, it can be a yacht, a cruise liner,
or a dicky boat.
It could be a tire with a flag in it, fam. It don't matter.
A little rough.
Literally, like be the master of your own ship, because no one can't come and take that from you. You understand?
It wouldn't even be 48 still. If it's a weekend.
No, like don't be.
They'll call a supplier.
Fam, don't be sitting down there waiting for handouts and like you got to go and ask them.
We're waiting for handouts, a lot of us.
Yeah, 100%. Like I had a conversation the other day talking to someone who were like, oh yeah, like I'm just trying to get what I can out the government because this and that. I'm like, fam,
wrong attitude.
Just go get yours, bruv. Like, stop waiting. What are you waiting for? That's the other thing as well. Time waits for no man, you know. Time is not on our side, fam. Definitely. Time is not on our side, fam. Whatever you need to do, whatever you want to do it now. Like literally right now, fam. While you're listening to this podcast in your headphones, go on Safari on your phone or internet, whatever it is, and research and do what you need to do now.
You're going to make me start singing some M People.
No, fam. Seriously.
You got to search for the hero inside yourself.
No, fam, real talk, because at the end of the day, they want you to wait. They want you to procrastinate. They want you to think it's too difficult. They want you to think it's too hard, and they want you to push it back so you don't get anywhere. Because the longer that you're, by the way. Yeah, 100% shout out Stormzy. The longer that you stay within this cycle, this rat race, and it's not even just a rat race in terms of financially, but you're not able to do anything to better your family. You're not able to better your community. You're not able to do anything other than just keep feeding the cycle. Because you say you're on 25k a year, you spend that 25k every year because you've got a car on finance, that is out of your budget. Like I had a conversation with someone the other day about phones, and they were like, "Oh yeah, how they make the phone case of the phone screen so expensive to replace, blah 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 blah. It's a con. It's such a con. They're thieves." I was like, "How are they thieves?" It's like, "Oh, like they expect me to pay like hundred and something pound for the phone when I only pay £30 for the phone." I was like, "Bro, you pay £30 a month over 2 years on a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money, fam. That's £660. £660, is that?
Something like that.
Something along those lines. No, 720.
Yeah.
£720.
12 times
But
3.
even then,
And the phone is not cheap. Because you're paying it off, you've got a warped value of this thing. Do you understand? Like, live within your means.
Yeah.
If you can't afford it, don't buy it. Do you understand? And if you want something, go about it smart. Don't go and spend 30 grand cash on a car. Spend that 30 grand and invest it in something and take the money from the investment to pay for the car.
Are we to blame them for our visual showmanship of what we own? That's what I want to ask you. So the fact that, for instance, you have 30k and instead of investing, you're going to go buy a watch and a chain. Are we to blame because then we're reinforcing the stereotype that if you're younger, this is something to look up to instead of investing?
They're traps that are put in place. Like, we're like magpies. We see something shiny and we run to it, fam. Like, they're traps that are put in place for, like, you get to a point that, okay, maybe I could step out of this thing. Nope, they set this trap there. It's called Rolex. I'm going to come right back down. And then build up. I know a guy, I don't even care if he hears this, 'cause I don't like him. I know a brother. Man is renting a yard he's renting a room in someone's house because he can't afford to get his own place. But man has a Rolex.
How much a Rolex is though? His one.
Like minimum 4K.
Yeah.
Rethink your life, fam.
What if that's an heirloom though?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Goddamn.
rethink your life.
Did he go out and purchase it knowing full well that he was renting a room?
I don't care. You've got 4 grand on your wrist, but you ain't got a house.
could have been passed down to him.
It wasn't. That's something like from I know that it
You know
wasn't.
that he went out and purchased it.
Yes.
Oh.
So you've got 4 grand on your wrist, and
Might have did the move.
you're struggling to look after yourself and live.
It's all about the facade though, isn't it?
It all depends on what you're into.
But people are finessing themselves. They're literally finessing themselves out here, bruv. And I honestly, I can't stand by and watch it silently anymore. It frustrates me, fam. That
So
shit proper
going back to the
frustrates me.
ownership, between trusted folk, it can happen. Edgware Road that requires between 100 and 200 people for me.
The problem is, we had it, and then we sold it.
Where do we have it?
We had Brixton. Who else was in Brixton? And then now Brixton's popping
The problem
because
is-
we sold it.
No, but the problem is the reason why it's popping is the crime rate is down in Brixton. There was a high crime rate and there was a high crime rate in Peckham, and I know they advertised that because everything.
Because
to do-
they bought us out and moved us out.
No, not just that. But while we were there,
We wasn't able to do what the white people were able
we
to
weren't
do.
able to.
Mhm.
And so now I'm saying,
Which is why back then we couldn't have had an Edgware Road.
Yeah.
No way. But now I feel like we know that we're much more educated
Much
than
more.
the people that were in power then in Brixton.
and two
Like,
generations after us, they're gonna be crazy.
If it was us, like our age group, and the people that think like us that was owning Brixton and Peckham now,
Oh, crazy!
It would
it'd be a
never
different.
happen.
It'll be a
Yeah, it
different.
would
thing.
never
Crazy.
No one would be going Edgware Road.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Crazy.
mean?
I agree.
So it's the timing.
But the problem is now that because specifically in London, which is why I hate, we were just having this conversation off air, that London makes you feel that although you're earning, you're not really because of the prices. Where now is going to be an area where something like this can start and happen. So therefore, do you take your investments abroad back to the motherland?
You
and
could
say-
start outside of London and come back.
Yeah, but do
You
you
could
take,
start in another city.
would you
in
take it back
England.
to the motherland, or
Fam,
would you
the
go
thing
back to
is-
Jamaica and start there?
The thing that people don't realize as well is that it doesn't necessarily have to be like, okay, Edgware Road is in, this is a like literally owning bricks and mortar along the entire road and all that kind of stuff.
I would like that though.
It's a nice ideal, but in today's day and age, it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. There's so many methods of doing business. There's so many ways you could do stuff. And like Airbnb is one of the biggest hotel providers in the world, and they own no real estate.
Yeah.
Uber is the biggest
Yep.
provider of transport, like moving people around cities and all
Yep.
that kind of stuff. They own no cars.
Mm.
Do you understand?
Crazy.
Like, it's all these kind of things. Like, there's so many ways to do it. We don't need to necessarily go out and buy bricks and mortar businesses. Yeah, it looks nice. It's a nice ideal, but it doesn't necessarily need to be like that. We could take over the events industry, and literally only black people can promote anywhere.
Yeah.
If it's not a black promoter,
We
people
could
ain't
take
going
over events and sports.
do you understand? If, like, honestly, as much as, like, shout out man, like Smade events. He's doing like concerts and stuff. He's backed hard, like he's all in with the Afro beats community and all that kind of stuff.
Sick.
And bringing Afro artists over. I've done
Shout
a few
out Jules
bits,
too, man. That guy.
done a few bits for him, and yeah, bruv, like he's doing his thing. Like he's branded up to the hilt. Like he's turned his thing into a brand. So even if you're not familiar with who he's promoting, because it's him, you're interested.
Okay.
And all that kind of, so there's ways that we can kind of take over industries or have something that's not too dissimilar from the Edgware Road ideal. We just need to think outside the box. If we can't afford to buy a property, what can we afford to buy? Where can we afford to invest? And it's not just about investing financially. Where can we put our time? What can we do to create a lane where we can show that we are the best at this, and it's for us and it's by us?
I want to be able to have some generational aspect, like you say with Indians, for instance, who own the corner shops. That's something that stays within their family. You think I can hand a CV into a corner shop if I'm a young person? I'm not getting that job.
So
That's going to a cousin, that's going to a nephew, that's going to a niece. Like, that is going to be passed down until they decide we don't want anymore. Like that where does that happen? That's my question. Where can that happen? Because I look at Edgware Road and there's no way you're getting anything on Edgware Road unless that's a community decision to me.
But do you know how? But that happens with each individual person taking that leap, and it's a lifestyle that a lot of people ain't happy about, because a lot of these people live above the shop, or initially they live above the shop. Like, certain black man's chest is too high to be like, oh, I live above a shop and all this kind of stuff. Like, and that's the other thing.
So pride is our downfall.
Pride is our downfall, and we don't understand. I don't think black people understand ownership. Ownership means it's yours. Do you understand? Like, it's not mine at the moment because I paid the lease on time. It is mine on the deed. When it's on the deed, my name is there. So that means they can cut off my electricity if I don't pay my light bill. They can cut off my water. They can cut off my gas, but they cannot kick me out.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing they can do. Ownership is what I'm talking about. Not leased up to the hill. And don't get twisted, this worked for some communities. I know, like, for example, the Jewish community, and this is just from hearing stuff, they did use a lot of debt and stuff like that, credit, to get to the position that they're in.
And they're thriving now.
100%. But in my opinion, we as black people, we have a lot of ownership that we don't take advantage of or we don't appreciate. How much black people, when they inherit something, if they inherit land in Jamaica or they inherit a house and all that kind of stuff, the first question that's always asked, how much is it worth? You're asking the wrong person, because the estate agent doesn't know how much it's worth. The estate agent knows how much it can sell for.
Yeah.
How much is worth is individual down to you.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
True. That's deep.
Like,
That's deep.
It's literally about what you can do with it and where you can take something. So my mentality, I've grown up, I've had a good upbringing.
Yeah.
My parents worked very hard and they've purchased a house. I'm an only child.
Yeah.
So, God forbid,
Spoiled.
loads of years down. No, not even that. Loads and loads and loads. Like, I want at least another 50, 60 years down the line.
Yeah.
I will inherit said house. But in the same energy, I'm trying to purchase at least a couple houses to add to that empire.
Of course.
And I would expect my child
to think the same.
think on the same. So, yeah, okay, when I go, between you and your brother and sister or whatever, you've got 4 houses within this empire. What you do with them is what you choose to. You can't sell them. That's in my will. You cannot sell it. You can do it, turn it into a care
That's
home,
the thing
a
as well.
brothel,
Can't
whatever.
sell it. Yeah.
But you need to add to the empire, because then by the time the next generation comes, it's not 4 houses, it's 6 houses. And then from that point, it's not 6 houses anymore, it's 10 houses.
Which is why I said it's a couple generations down the line.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not working hard for my generation. I'm not going to be able to reap the rewards.
Generational thought, isn't it?
Do you understand? But long term, you need to be able to have that.
Max, what are you saying?
No, I agree.
Like, it's... Yeah, fam.
What do you say? I think that's deep. I think we can two-part this one, you know?
Mm.
I think we can two-part this one, but...
Yeah, we'll definitely revisit. I might even try and see if we can get a guest who's got some knowledge on just in terms of black ownership, and I'll make a couple of phone calls. I know a few people doing some stuff. I don't know if they'll be comfortable coming on, but
Yeah.
I just want to say a shout out to everyone listening. This is, you know, clearly a topic close to our hearts, just about ownership and just about wanting to us not to take a back seat in certain regards. We want to be able to be the masters of our own ships, the masters of our own destiny. You've heard us all speak passionately about this. As I said, it's something we all care about. This has been off the fence. I can say that, you know, Jay has obviously got his point across. And, you know, one thing which is really good for me is that, you know, I am blessed to be hanging around with people who are their own people, and they're not just agreeing, but they're also of individual thought, and they're educated within their thought. But also, I know that there's a lot for me to learn. So although I deem myself as, you know, to some degree quite intelligent. No, definitely not a know-it-all. A wise man knows that he knows nothing at all. And so I'm definitely here to hear some people's opinions about what has been said about ownership. I'd really, really love, and I know it's highly improbable because I know how the older generation are, but I'd love to hear from someone in the older generation about their ideas on ownership and what it might have been like in the environment in and around the times in Brixton and stuff. So if you're like 60 and upwards, even through conversation, which I might have to try and facilitate. Yeah. But yeah, as I said, I've been Corbino 006, got Mike's there in the cut, we've got Super J here too. We've been off the fence.
Yeah.
Love, powers, get your energy up, man.
Amen. Get your ownership up.
100%.